7 valuable lessons from the appearances of Jesus to his disciples after his resurrection. 7 valuable lessons from the appearances of Jesus to his disciples after his resurrection. After losing Jesus, their beloved leader, the disciples and followers were engulfed in a profound sense of loss, worry, and fear. The shadow of Jesus' crucifixion loomed large, haunting them with the threat of a similar fate. Stricken by uncertainty, some, like the 2 disciples from Emmaus, retreated to the familiarity of home, while Peter and others returned to their former lives as fishermen, seeking refuge in the mundane. Yet, amidst their despair, Jesus' unexpected presence infused them with a newfound hope. He reassured them not to fear, for the worldly powers that orchestrated his death had been defeated. His resurrection embodied victory over such forces, encouraging his disciples to place unwavering faith in him. Through his presence, they found solace, strength, and a renewed commitment to their faith, boldly facing the challenges ahead with courage and conviction. This story presents plenty messages and lessons to be learned from, especially when we are in the same situation. Let's focus on these 7 lessons that we can learn from that story. Before we delve into the 7 valuable lessons from this video, we kindly ask for your support. Please subscribe, like, comment, and activate the bell to stay tuned for more enriching content on our channel. Your engagement fuels our mission through Jacob's Well TV channel. Thank you. Here are the 7 valuable lessons we can learn from the story of Jesus' presence among his disciples and followers after his resurrection. Lesson 1: Do not fear or worry, but always entrust life situations and difficulties to God, the source of strength and the place to put our hope. The post-resurrection encouragement of Jesus to his disciples carries a timeless lesson. Fear not, for God's presence is steadfast amidst life's trials. Just as Jesus reassured his followers, we're reminded that divine support never wavers, even in the face of our greatest challenges. This encouragement urges us to anchor our faith in the omnipotent power of God, trusting that his guidance and strength are ever at hand. Regardless of the storms we face, we're called to hold fast to our belief, knowing that through unwavering faith, we find solace, courage, and the resilience to navigate life's uncertainties. Lesson 2: God never leave alone. Believe steadfastly that God never forsakes us. Our task is to maintain unwavering faith and patience, awaiting his presence and divine intervention in his perfect timing. At times, impatience arises as we yearn for God to adhere to our timeline. However, the path to fulfillment lies in surrendering to his will, trusting that his plans transcend our understanding, and his timing is always impeccable. Embrace patience and align yourself with God's divine purpose. One relevant Bible verse that encapsulates this sentiment is found in Isaiah 40 verse 31. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. This verse reminds us to place our trust in the Lord, for he renews our strength and enables us to persevere through life's challenges with unwavering faith and patience. Lesson number 3: God never leaves us. In fact, he seeks us when we drift away. Even though life's hardships may sometimes lead us to run away from God, much like Peter and the 2 disciples on the road to Emmaus, our loving Lord tirelessly seeks, finds, and strengthens us with his miraculous love and power. Thus, we continue to find him as the eternal guarantor of our lives. The story of the 2 disciples on the road to Emmaus and Peter's return to the shores where he once lived reminds us that it is often us who run away from God, especially in times of difficulty and despair. Yet, God desires us to grow in faith and remain faithful, placing our hope in him as the true source of hope. One relevant Bible verse that reflects this sentiment is found in Hebrews 10 verse 23. Let us hold unswervingly to the hope we profess, for he who promised is faithful. This verse encourages us to remain steadfast in our faith and hope, trusting in the faithfulness of God's promises even during difficult times. Lesson for the need of calmness and listening to the voice of the Lord. One intriguing story from the 2 disciples on the road to Emmaus is that, while journeying home, they failed to recognize the Lord walking alongside them because they were too preoccupied with talking, even showcasing their knowledge to Jesus. This reflects a common mistake in our lives, particularly in difficult situations, where we tend to be overly active in thinking, judging, blaming others, and even God. Yet, maintaining calmness and allowing God to speak to our innermost being is far more beneficial. By calmly listening to the voice of the Lord within us, we can understand the events we're experiencing within the framework of God's will. As Mother Teresa said, that in the silence of the heart God speaks. And mostly people acknowledge that silence is the great teacher, and to learn its lessons, you must pay attention to it. There is no substitute for the creative inspiration, knowledge, and stability that come from knowing how to contact your core of inner silence. Lesson 5: Willingness to invite God into your home and your life situation. One remarkable aspect of the story of the two Emmaus disciples is their willingness to invite the Lord into their home. Their kindness and hospitality paved the way for grace and blessings amidst their time of loss. As God, their guest, assumed the role of host, welcoming them, they came to know Him in that moment. The valuable lesson we can glean from the two Emmaus disciples is that, despite facing adversity, despair, and the temptation to follow our own desires and knowledge, kindness and hospitality towards God and others can bring grace and blessings upon us. We come to realize that what God offers is greater and nobler than the kindness we extend to others. This experience strengthens our faith in God and encourages us to continue living life spirit, guided by His love and protective power. Lesson number 6: The joy of encountering God urges us to proclaim the truth of our faith and the goodness of the Lord. Just as the two disciples on the road to Emmaus and the women who witnessed the resurrection of the Lord were moved to once again meet and share the joyful news of God's resurrection with the disciples of Jesus, likewise, the joy from the experiences of faith we undergo will compel us to testify to others about the truth of our faith and the goodness of God that we have experienced. This will strengthen and increase their faith in God as well. Lesson number 7: The experience of faith enables us to grow in faith and build a community of life together as children of God. The disciples of Jesus, who witnessed the risen Lord firsthand, were further strengthened to transform all their fears, worries, and sense of loss into joy because the God they followed proved to be truly powerful and capable of defeating death. With this experience of faith, they were reaffirmed to remain faithful in following the Lord and to become witnesses of His resurrection. Thus, these 7 valuable lessons from Jesus' appearances to His disciples after His resurrection from the dead. May they inspire us. Thank you for watching and supporting Puspita Sumer Yakub TV by subscribing, commenting, and hitting the bell icon to receive the latest videos from this spiritual channel. See you in the next video.